Hello everybody, today I'm going to be showing you my very own pattern for these adorable chickens. They're great for markets and just sell well online as well. As you can see, you can embroider the eyes different ways. Super cute. Today I'm going to be making it in the Bernat Blanket Almond just for the contrast purposes, but you can use whatever color you like. If you're not going to use Bernat Blanket yarn, you're probably going to want to use a 5.5 or 6 millimeter hook, but I'll be using a 6.5 millimeter. You also need scissors and a darning needle and a stitch marker. Let's get started. For row 1, we're going to be starting with the chain. So start with a chain of 6. Once you have your chain of 6, we're going to skip the first stitch, and into the second stitch you're going to do an increase, so 2 single crochet in 1 stitch, and then we're going to do 4 single crochet, 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches to get us to the other end. Once we've reached the end of our chain, we're going to turn it and start working in the other side. So we're going to start with a triple increase, which is just 3 single crochet in 1 stitch, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 4 single crochet to get us to the other end again. And that is row 2, so we're going to count our stitches and you should have a stitch count of 13. So starting in row 3, we're going to start with 3 increases, so 2 single crochet in each stitch 3 times. And don't forget to use your stitch marker if you'll be using one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark my first stitch. So that was my first increase, and we're going to do 2 more increases. 2, 3, and now we're going to do 3 single crochet. So 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 2, 3, and now we're going to do 4 increases on this end, so 2 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and now we're going to do 3 single crochet to get us to the end. 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and that is round 3. So now we're going to go ahead and start on round 4, and your stitch count should be 20, so go ahead and make sure your stitch count is 20. So starting in round 4, we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 increase 3 times, so don't forget to mark your first stitch. So single crochet, increase, and repeat that pattern 3 times. Okay, so we did finish that pattern. And now we're going to do 3 single crochet, so 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, Alright, and now we're going to do single crochet, increase 3 times again. 1 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet, increase, one more time, 3 single crochet, increase. Now we're going to do 5 single crochet to get us to the end. So at the end of round 4, you should have 26 stitches. So make sure to go back and count your stitches. Now we're going to start on round 5. So for round 5, we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 increase, and repeat that 3 times. Don't forget to mark your first stitch. So 1, 2, and an increase. 1, 2, repeat one more time. Now that we've done that part of it, we're going to move on and we're going to do 3 single crochet on this side again. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to repeat the 2 single crochet, 1 increase times 3. And then after that, we're going to do 5 single crochet to get us to our stitch marker. So now we'll go ahead and start round 6. For round 5, you should have 32 stitches. So now starting round 6, we're going to work into the back loops only. So only picking up the back loops. So we're going to repeat 3 single crochet, 1 increase all the way around, so that's 8 times. Working into the back loops only. So that's 3 single crochet, increase. At the end of round 6, you should have 40 stitches, and you should have this little line. That's the front loops that we didn't pick up, and that's going to help our chicken sit flatter on our table. Okay, so for the next 5 rounds, we're just going to be doing 1 single crochet in each stitch, and to keep track of this, I like to use a little piece of yarn. Just like this. And then you can just do your 5 rows without moving this, and you will be able to count the rows above it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I'll show you what I mean. So I've completed the 5 rows of 40 single crochet, rounds 7 through 11. As you can see, this little thing, this little piece of yarn, has helped me to count my rows. If you would like to also use a stitch marker on each individual row to keep track, that also works. But as you can see, you just count every row above the one where the yarn is. So don't count this row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can just draw a straight line between your stitches to see what was the last stitch in this round. So now we're going to move on to round 12, which is going to be our only decreasing round. So for round 12, we're going to do 3 single crochet, 1 decrease all the way around. And I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my stitch marker. If you want to use a piece of yarn for the whole stitch marking process, you can do that too. I do that a lot, but today I'm just going to be using my little stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3 single crochet, excuse me, and then an invisible decrease. So we're just going to take the front loop, pull through. We're going to repeat that 8 times. 3, and again the decrease. Pick up the front loop, pull through, front loop, pull through both of them. So I'm just going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back for round 13. So we've finished row 12, and now we should have 32 stitches again. So now we're going to start row 13. And for row 13, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. So that'll be 32 single crochet total. Alright, so I finished round 13, and now we're going to do round 14, which is the final row, and it also is the row that gives our chicken this triangle, or I guess dip shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 4 slip stitches, and I'm going to go ahead and mark my first stitch. So 3, 4 slip stitches, and now we're going to do 8 single crochet, six, 7, 8, and we're going to do 5 slip stitches. Okay, now we're going to do 2 single crochet. After our 2 single crochet, we're going to do 2 half double crochet. So yarn over, pull through all three loops. Repeat that one more time. So we've done 2 half double crochet, and now we're going to do 4 double crochet. So pull through 2, pull through 2. Alright, so we've done our 4 double crochet, and now we're going to do 2 half double crochet again. There we go. We've done 2 half double crochet. Now we're going to do 2 single crochet. And then we're going to do 3 slip stitches to get us to our stitch marker. And now what we're going to do is, this is the end of our work, so we're going to leave a decently long tail. Go ahead and snap it. And this is the body of our chicken. So you can go ahead and stuff it now. So I found the best way to stuff this is you're gonna stretch it out lengthwise. So in the middle of our 4 double crochet is where we're gonna put the beak and everything. So we're gonna be stretching it out to these corners as we stuff it. So once your chicken is mostly stuffed, what you're gonna do is there's 2 ways you could do it. Most of the time I do it the lazy way, but I will do it the hard way today, just to show you it's not that much harder. I'm just lazy. So the easy way would just to be to hold this yarn down so that it's not tight and go to the tail end, so not the, you're going to pinch it closed. If you want to do a stitch marker on each end, you can do that, but I just like to pinch it so it's pinched, and you could just keep this loose and do a stitch, so keeping that loose, just do a stitch like that, and that's how I typically do it. And the other way to do it is to take your yarn and thread it through the back of all of these stitches to get to this end and then do that stitch, but I find this way works just as well. So make sure you're pinched in the middle of your 4 double crochets, and starting from the tail, we're going to be taking the back loops only, and we're going to be sewing our chicken up, and make sure to go over that piece of yarn that we made our stitch with. Remember, only take the back loops. And we're gonna stuff up a little bit into that tail as we go. So right about here is where I like to stop so that we can finish stuffing. As you can see, it has a nice cute tail, and this is gonna be our head, and it stands up nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish stuffing it. Alright, so I've stuffed up a little bit into our chicken's tail. Now I'm going to continue sewing it. Like I said, don't stuff it too firmly. So again, just taking the outside loops. And as you get this close to the end, you can just put a little bit of stuffing in to the head as you go. You're not going to want a lot because we did the double crochet, so the holes are a little bit bigger. So you don't want to put so much stuffing that's going to start coming out those holes. So lightly stuffed is good enough. Okay, so we've reached, I'm stuck. We've reached the end of our chicken, and as you can see, we have a nice dip. So what we're gonna do is we're going to fish it through. Make sure we're not warping our head. And you're going to just go around a stitch a couple times, and then once it's secured, we're just gonna do a simple knot. Now we have our knot, and then we're going to again fish it through until our knot pops in and we can't see it anymore. So our knot is gone, and then I usually like to fish it through a couple times in a couple different directions. And then you can cut your yarn and go ahead and stuff in the end. So now we have the body is complete. So now I'm going to show you how to make the comb. To make the comb, I like to use a 6mm crochet hook just because it gives a better shape. So the comb can be kind of difficult because we're going to be working into such a small magic ring. And if you don't want to or can't make a magic ring, what you can do is just chain 2 and work into the first chain and just single crochet single crochet 4 into that chain. But I will be doing a magic ring for today. So we did a slip stitch or a chain, and we're going to do a magic ring of 4. So I have my 4 stitches, and my trick for closing it with plush yarn is to stretch it a couple times, and it closes much easier. So in our magic ring of 4, we're going to do 3 rows of 4 single crochet, no increases and no decreases. And you want to be careful to count your stitches after each row, because working in a magic ring this small, we tend to add or take away stitches, or at least I do. So we're going to start with our first row. 2, 3, 4. Make sure to turn it the right way. And also I wanted to add, if you want to make a beak, instead of just embroidering a beak, what you can do is you can just do 4 single crochet like this, and just obviously probably in yellow, but you could flatten it out and just make a cute little beak like that. I actually prefer them with actual beaks, but they seem to sell better with the embroidery beaks. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 more rows of 4 single crochet, and then I'll show you how to attach it. So I finished my 3 rows of 4 single crochet, and what I'm going to do is you're going to want to leave a fairly long string. I tend to leave really long strings. You don't have to leave them as long as me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and slip stitch 1 just to get it more even, like that. And then what you can do, we're not going to be stuffing this. You can cut most of it off of our tail from the other end, our dead end, and you can stuff some of it in there to give it a more rounded shape. So we're going to be, so that it's, you know, kind of stuffed like that. Now I have to go fetch my needle. Found it. Okay. And now we're going to be just sewing it up. So we'll go through the back, the outside loops only, so technically the back loops, up and down, just through them, close it up. Like that. You can start to see it take the shape of our comb. What we're going to do is we're going to thread it through just a little bit, making sure not to warp it. And then we'll do our little, there's an actual name for that stitch. If you know it, please comment down below, because it's like a stay stitch or something. Anyway, and make a little knot, and then we're gonna come pull the knot inside. And once it pops inside, we're ready to attach it. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna decide how you want your comb. I like mine sticking up a little bit in the front. I just think it's cute. So we're gonna be taking stitches like that, just one at a time, on either side. Alright, so as you can see, we've got the comb all attached. And I just sewed it all around. I made a knot at the end and then just fished it through like I typically do. And so now I'm going to show you how to do the beak. So you're going to want to take your yellow. You won't need too much yellow. Again, I always leave ridiculously long strings because in my mind you can always cut it. You can never, you know, attach cleanly. Alright, so as you can see on these chickens, I kind of did it on the third-ish row. So about right here. So just like this. And then I just like to do two. And then what I'm going to do is, that looks good. So I'm going to take one of my crochet hooks. And just gently fish that through like that. Now that we have them both over here, again, it's way too long, so you can just make a knot. And then fish it through whichever way is easiest. If you want to use a needle, I've seen people who don't ever use needles, not even to sew pieces on. They just use their crochet hook, which I always thought was crazy because that's hard to do. Okay, and that's all right. Super cute. So then we're gonna just chop off the excess. And you could fish all of that in, or tuck it in if you want. I'm just gonna chop it. And now we've got our little beak. Okay, so now we're gonna do the eyes, and as you see on these two, I did the eyes two different ways. The easiest way is to just do even lines on either side, and those sew fine, but most people think it's cuter when you do little triangles. So I'm gonna be showing you the triangle. It is a little bit difficult to embroider eyes on the chickens just because of the half double crochets, and the double crochet is just the angle is difficult. So I'm gonna just go like this. So that's one method. You could just do the triangle. But I think for this one, I'm just gonna do a line. So for a line, depending on how close you want it to the beak, and I think I want mine pretty close. And again, you're going to want to look at both sides. Make sure you can get it as close to even as possible. Thread it through somewhere. And if you don't want to have to thread your needle, you could just use yarn hook or a crochet hook. Pull it through. Make sure that one of them is not too much tighter than the other one. And then you're just gonna go ahead and knot this. And after you've done that, cut off the really long strings. Go ahead and take your scissors and poke it back in. I think it turned out super cute. And there we go. We've made another chicken. And it stands up nicely. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe and hit that like button. And let me know what kind of patterns you'd like to see next. Bye!